wanted to talk about some new information that's come out recently and just kind of sum up what was said. I'll put some links in the description so that you can watch the videos yourself. This is just going to be a short version for people who maybe don't have time to sit and watch several hour-long videos on YouTube. So 4 YouTubers were live the other night. Mexi, Save Robbie, Zab Girl, and Kim Kaufman. It was a great show. I loved it. Kim usually rambles on and no one else gets a chance to talk, but Mexi wasn't having it. If Kim said something he didn't agree with, he would stop her and say why he didn't agree. Zav Girl had some great points too. I felt bad for Robbie because he said he wasn't feeling well and he noticed there was a delay and he was so respectful because he didn't want to interrupt anyone. But everyone did a really good job at not letting Kim take over and completely run the show. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, go watch. So during the live, a guy in the chat named Larry said that he would like to get in touch with Chris Watts and that he could help get him set up with a lawyer. I thought that he was a lawyer, and then I heard him say that he was not actually a licensed lawyer, but he has family who are lawyers, and they agreed to help Chris if he would let them. So he comments this in chat trying to get Kim's attention. Kim doesn't respond right away. Another YouTuber in the chat announces that she is going to go live on her channel. So she leaves to go live, and Larry calls in to join them on the panel. And like I said, I'll put all of the links in the description. He says he has a friend that he grew up with that went to law school and worked in Weld County during the Chris Watts case, and he told him all about the case and the corruption that was going on at the time. After explaining all this to his uncle at his family's law firm, his uncle was blown away and has taken an interest in the case. Kim calls in and joins them on the panel. Larry tells Kim he agrees with her on a few things. The investigation was absolutely terrible and some motions were denied that shouldn't have been, but there is no way Chris will ever win a 35C based on Shanann killed the kids. There needs to be some new evidence or some major corruption exposed, something big to get the 35C granted. Kim agrees with him and says she is not basing the 35C off of anything that has to do with the crime itself. She says she knows it will have to be based on proving his due process rights were violated. When asked how exactly these rights were violated, she kind of stumbles around not giving clear answers like she does, and Larry tells her, still, you won't get a 35C based on what you're saying. It was the greatest thing I've seen in a while. I've never seen the roles reversed so many times in one night where people were talking over Kim and not letting her speak. She handled it well though and was still respectful and actually seemed amazed at how much information Larry had. He said his friend who worked in Weld County quit his job over the Watts case, along with several other investigators that to this day are still mentally distraught over what they witnessed. He said there's a bigger story here, and it's a cover-up. He says he reached out to Weld County to request information on the log of visitors that came in and out of the DA's office. He called them to ask where to file the request. As soon as he said he needed information regarding the Watts case, the lady transferred him and it went straight to voicemail. So he called back and asked, who do I file a request for freedom of information to? And also, do you guys keep a log of everyone who visits the DA's office? The lady says, oh no, we can't talk about that, and transfers him again to the same line that goes straight to voicemail. He ended up going in circles with them and was not able to get the information he needed. He said in his county they have the forms online on their website so that it's easy for people to find and request. He explains his frustration and states this confirms what his friend told him, which is that there was a meeting between congressmen and executives from ANADARKO in the DA's office. He says after that meeting, DA Rourke told everyone working on the Chris Watts case, none of you are to speak one word about this case unless it goes through me first. ANADARKO had gotten into some deep water a couple years before the Watts murders. They were being reprimanded and still dealing with the consequences. There was a home that exploded because of ANADARKO's gas wells, where 2 men inside the home were killed and a woman was injured. The house next door also had to be torn down because it was damaged. ANADARKO closed more than 3,000 wells across Colorado. The cause was an underground leak from severed and uncapped flow lines connected to the gas well near the house. This was a big deal. Bills were proposed, state regulators came to double check everything. This is why NK was recruited there. There was also a $40 billion war bid going on between Chevron and Occidental to buy ANADARKO, and there were key points in why it was important for each company to win. Then there were the sexual harassment claims, where several women came forward saying that women at ANADARKO were expected to give sexual favors and were punished if they didn't. Which this is disgusting, and I'm sure they got a lot of well-deserved backlash over that. A few more things that Larry reveals is that NK was having an affair with another man at ANADARKO, who was a big executive of the company, and that they have evidence to prove it. He also says that one of Chris Watts' lawyers, John Walsh, was related to NK, and that there's also evidence to prove that too. He also says others may be related to NK, but he has to confirm it first. He said he has first-hand knowledge that one of the investigators' theories is that NK's phone pinged in Frederick early that morning because she came there to help clean up the house and to try to help Chris get into Shanann's phone. He said that phone was a big deal and she tried to help him with it. He said some of what was put in the discovery was a mistake because this was a small county and they didn't know it would get as much attention as it did. They didn't know people would be digging into it as much as they have. One example is NK Googling Chris and Shanann in 2017. Larry said they screwed up, showing how far they actually looked into her phone data because the search warrant only went back as far as May. He mentions the red car theory, and he says it was absolutely Betty's car and it's not red. He said his buddy in Weld County told him, "We talked to Betty. She watched the video and she said, 'That's me.' He says the way the video is set up, it looks like she goes straight, but it's actually a slight right and then a slight left." So let's talk about what Larry thinks happened. He believes they had to cover NK up because she had information on other people. He said maybe it started off small. They simply wanted to hide the affair she was having with the executive at ANADARKO because of everything they had going on. The huge sexual assault scandal, the $40 billion bid war, and the Firestone explosion. They didn't want NK's affair with the executive to be exposed. So they said, let's get the mistress out of here. We got the perfect guy who's going to do exactly what he's told. We'll throw him in isolation and put our people on his case. He was concerned that Chris had been threatened while he was in prison at Weld County, and he asked Kim Kaufman about it. She said that Chris never mentioned it to her if he had been. Kim was unusually quiet during all of this, but was happy to hear Larry say he was going to go after D.A. Rourke. Larry said he could write a motion to have all the evidence released, and Kim assured him Chris would sign for a lawyer to get all the text messages and medical records and everything released. He sounded pretty determined and said that exposing corruption was something that he had done successfully in the past. Thank you for watching.